So, I was talking with John from Ohio. By the way, I keep calling him John, and for those of you who don't know John, it's JNULL0. And he's a homesteader, and he's just a dude. He's a good guy. So, he brought up a point that I wasn't even thinking about on my heat box. He suggested, and he made a very good point with doing it, that this should be laying down that way. And the reason for it is the plate that goes across the top to cover everything, which is going to be steel. I was going to have it raised off a little bit, a few inches up, but he made a good point. He says you want the plate as close as possible, meaning if I can set it right down on a flat surface, because when I cut in the chimney hole, because those three are not going to be enough, I have to put a 6-inch chimney hole here and the chimney. When I cut in the chimney hole, I don't want any space between the barrel and the outer chamber, because if it leaks, we don't want the smoke coming from here leaking in between the two and getting into the actual heating chamber out here, that therefore will end up in the house. So by having it laying flat on here and the chimney going through both pieces, there's really no chance of the anything coming from here leaking into the outer chamber, where I'm actually going to be drawing my heat from. So that was a very good point. So I'm going to cut this off here, cut this out. I ordered the door, and then I'll have to naturally weld in some plate to get it so I can fit it in there flush-wise, and that's what we're going to do. So that's the way it's going to sit. Now, he said it doesn't make too much of a difference how high off the ground I do it. So, I mean, I can use that stand over there if I wanted to, because it would be easier for me to load. However, the higher it goes, the more material I have to use to enclose it. Now, I'm going to be probably using either fire brick or cinder block filled with sand to enclose the front, except for the door area, the front, the back, and the two sides. So if I was to, I'm showing you the backyard here again, sorry guys. So if I was to raise that up 3 feet, I would have to use 3 more feet times the length, all right, and the width in height of block, which would be kind of a waste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise it up 1 block. That's about 8 inches. I'll put a block under each side of it. I'll get it raised up a block. Then I'll enclose it from there. Put my piece of steel across it. Now I was going to use a sandbox, all right, meaning a piece of steel, weld on some steel plates around the edges, actually making it like a box about 3 inches high, then filling it with sand, all right, to help hold the heat. Well, John suggested that I just use brick, and that would help, and that would do basically the same thing. May not quite as much, but not as much work either. And it'll also give me the ability, if I do want to go down the line and move a few bricks and make a little oven chamber or something, I can do it just by moving bricks, and I don't have to redesign a whole steel sandbox. So that makes a lot of sense as well. So what I'll do is I'll put my piece of steel across the whole top, which will go from cinder block wall to cinder block wall, covering to the back cinder block wall, going to the outer side of the block, coming over to the front, and then I will put brick on top. So then, like I say, John had mentioned, if I want to use it for cooking or warming up something, I can just move a few bricks out of the way. Or if I want to build a little metal type enclosure or oven, I have it. I don't have to rework this whole sandbox that I was going to make. So he had a lot of good ideas, and I'm going to take them and run with them. because it worked. So again, John is JNULL0, and if you haven't checked out his channel, you should. He's got a lot going on, and even though he's just a dude, he makes things work, and he's pretty clever when it comes to certain things. So check him out.